Hello, welcome to the Retro Game Club podcast, a special episode that has, we have no idea what season or episode number this is. And joining me is someone that is likely no longer podcasting because this is an extra episode, Hugh.
That's right. I am laying on the beach somewhere right now. No, I still have a day job. Whenever you're listening to this, I still have like a day job and a life and all that stuff.
You know, you do talk about getting rid of, your extra mic and, your the stuff you only use for podcasting. And I think one thing you should do, you should release one video on YouTube ever. And it's just bring that stuff to the recycling parking lot and just film people UFC fight over it.
Okay. No, I will probably do. I think there's a chance I'll do a guest podcast appearance here and there. It just have to be something I was like really interested in doing. I'm not going to do YouTube. It's funny. I did go to the recycling dump the other day. I had a dead Ryobi battery. Do you ever buy the cordless Ryobi tools?
Yeah.
So I like the tools a lot, but the batteries generally don't last more than, 5 years. So this was a battery for a chainsaw. It also worked with the leaf blower. And I definitely got a lot of mileage out of it, but it was no longer charging. So I went down to the old electronics recycling dump with this. What do those batteries weigh? 5-6 pounds probably?
Yeah.
And there was someone getting ready to scavenge as usual, and there was a really nice looking flat screen TV, and I chucked that battery right into the TV.
Did he give you an evil look?
Yeah. Chucked it right into that
shot
TV.
Put it?
Man.
Did you do spin around shot put style?
I didn't spin it. Well, it maybe a half arc. It was kind of like a little half turn and just chucked it right into the screen. Yeah,
that might be the funniest thing you've ever said to me. That's really good.
Yeah, I've done that before. That's not the first time I've done it, but that in particular, because it was so heavy, I figured I got to put that through a TV screen.
That could be a service that they render for people. If you're really stressed out, they just give you a baseball bat. And you could murder some electronics.
Yeah, they're in theory they're stripping it down for the metals anyways.
Yeah. So what are we doing this episode?
Computer Shopper, September 1994. We've been talking for a long time about reviewing a Computer Shopper magazine, and we decided, I don't remember which of us decided, but that just before Windows 95, so this is a year before the Windows 95 launch, that was the best time, because it's 486 is expensive CD-ROM, like computers didn't come with CD-ROMs as a standard feature. 64-bit graphics cards were like a exciting new concept.
The internet really wasn't a consumer product yet.
Was not, yeah. So we just sort of landed on 1994 being a good time. I don't know why September, other than that's kind of the beginning of when people think about what they're going to buy for Christmas, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this one is subtitled Pentiums Under $1,500. 60 megahertz bargains make 46s obsolete.
Yeah.
So we should also point out that this is almost exactly 2 years before Quake was released, and Quake is kind of what killed the 486, right? They really used that Pentium.
Yeah. Quake was late 96. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for sure, Quake. You had to have a better video card, and you had to have
an FPU, a real FPU.
You had to have something.
Yeah.
I mean, I had it on a Pentium. It ran great on a Pentium. Maybe the minimum requirements are, I'm looking at my Quake box, maybe technically could run on a 46, like Doom could technically run on a 386.
So I'm a total nerd, and I watch, nerdy stuff on YouTube, which means people overclocking 46s and stuff like that. And there was one guy that put his, 100 megahertz or 133 megahertz 46 against, I forget which Pentium, but it was not a 60, but it may have been a 66, maybe a 90. Anyways, and it may have even been you remember those overclock 46 chips, which I'm sure, 586 chips for a 46 motherboard?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll see those in here. Well, Doom really didn't use the 586, bells and whistles, but Quake did. So a lot of things, an overclocked or really fast 46 would actually be faster than like, a Pentium 75 or something, so maybe a 100 or 133 46 would be faster than a Pentium 75 in many situations, which is really strange times during this computer shopper because you didn't really know what you wanted and you didn't know what was coming out next, and
Yeah.
people didn't see Quake coming, that's for sure.
No, no, for sure. I didn't search this for the word Quake, but it's certainly not in here. Doom might be. It's hard though. Like we got to note this is a big magazine. This is 885 pages.
Yeah, I predict, we get through maybe 100 pages, and who knows, maybe this will come back and record a second part of this episode. We undecided. In our classic fashion, we have planned none of this.
So for people who have never heard of Computer Shopper, how would you describe it?
The thickest magazine on a shelf, like we said, it's like almost 900 pages. And you're there not for the articles. You're there for the advertisements to see what things cost. And, the big like Gateway 2000 Dell companies have, spreads of their new computers and laptops, but also a bunch of mom and pop places have like RAM prices and printer RAM prices and all that kind of fun stuff that, you could go and see the cheapest way you could upgrade your computer. And I would bring one of these on every single family trip. I would shove it into, as a kid, I would shove it into my backpack and it would be what I read on vacation.
Yeah. And it's a lot of ads because the sticker price is $3.95.
For 900 pages, yeah.
For 900 pages, because it is mostly sponsored. I was more interested by the articles, though, than the ads, I think, when I was going through this, because
there's some good ones.
Like articles. Yeah, the articles sort of double as ads, and we're going to kind of skip around. I'm going to say this is a very, very tough magazine to read along with. I'm looking at my notes here.
Yes.
Because the page numbers I'm looking at the copy at archive.org here, which has like a page browser.
Which is linked in our show notes. If you're listening to this, you might want to be on that page.
On page. But those pages don't match the page numbers on the magazine itself.
Yeah, so let's go by the archive.org page number. How about that?
Yeah, I wrote both in my notes, but then I forgot which one I put first.
Yeah, I agree. I did the same thing, yeah. And we planned this almost a year ago, so...
We did, yeah. And the other thing, so I have a couple of notes. I did not read any of your notes before putting my notes in, so we could have duplicate content, duplicate comments. In general, it's very, very tough to tell the difference between an ad and editorial content in this. You see something that looks like an editorial, it's very hard to tell if it actually is an editorial or if it's, in fact, just an ad. But again, the internet works like that today.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I was going to say my computer shopper experience is my own. I didn't have any money in 1994. I wasn't buying a computer. But when Windows 95 came out, I did. So I was able to save up enough to buy a Windows 95 computer. But the first time I really used Computer Shopper was not until I built a Win2K computer, Windows 2000 computer from scratch. And then on the side, had kind of a side business. I had a friend who had a side business building custom PCs for people. And he would occasionally hire me when he got multiple orders. And Computer Shopper, again, was a pretty valuable guide for that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was deep into this in 94 because actually it may have been this issue. I got my first computer job in 1994. I was a junior in high school, and my cousin's boyfriend hired me. He he co-owned this company that was at the time porting. He coded this bank software. I forget for what bank. Actually, I think it was a pretty big one. In Visual Basic 3.0, for Windows 3.11.
Yeah.
And after he built it, they were like, well, most of our branches still use DOS. So my first project was to port Visual Basic 3.0 Windows code to Visual Basic 3.0 for DOS code, which was actually kind of fun.
So they made Visual Basic 3 for DOS. I thought
Yep.
2 was the last version for some reason, but
No,
I
no,
buy
they had
that. Yeah.
they had 3 for DOS. Yeah.
Oh, because 4 was definitely not just 4 was like the one that was aiming for Windows 95 as the target. I think you could still do Windows 3.1 apps in it, but I think Visual Basic 4
And 4 is where it
it was
started
32
to
by default.
it started to
32-bit
pull
by
in more
default,
C
yeah.
plus or C type syntax in there too.
Yeah,
That's where it started to feel more .NET, I guess.
yeah.
But I'm not going to point out every single ad in this, but even with the first ad, you could see that Pentiums were really expensive.
Yeah.
For what's this first ad? What megahertz do we get here?
Zios is the company.
Yeah, which I have not heard of, but even for a 486 DX4 100, you're looking at $2,800, and then for a Pentium 66, you're looking at $3,000. So kind of bananas.
If you want to have only a 486SX, that's like $1,200.
And even at this point, I think that was kind of pretty limiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we would have to jump to page 134 to get to the Pentium 60s for under $1,500. But yeah, let's hop around. Just let me know what page to hop to.
I wrote down, so this is virtual, well, no, is it? Yeah, I got virtual page 12. I put a note here. There
Okay.
it is. I can see it there. So it's virtual page 12, physical page 18. These Toshiba mini laptops, they're expensive, but man, finding one of those today would be great for DOS gaming. That was my comment here. They're these little, Intel 3.3, what was it? 4 meg RAM, 320 meg hard drive. Little small computers that you could run DOS, maybe Windows 3.1 on.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely for DOS gaming, those computers would be amazing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, the screen is definitely a little slow. That would be the only part that would make it difficult. It has like no off viewing angles. You have to
Yeah.
be right in front of it, like a 3DS or something.
Yeah, now the battery, it does say the battery lasts 2 hours. That's a selling point. So,
Yeah, yeah. And I made a note for the next page that they're selling Novell on the next page,
okay.
and they're still gouging you even back then for the exact same product, but more user licenses, which I always thought was a scam because it doesn't cost them anymore.
So you mentioned mom and pop shops. I did look one up early on. So this is virtual page 16, actual page 25. Kenosha Computer Center. Because I've been to Kenosha many times, I thought I would see if I recognized where Kenosha Computer Center is.
Was it a warehouse?
2133 91st Street. No, it's just an apartment building. So Kenosha Computer Center is some dude's apartment.
I love that. And back then in '94, you couldn't really look that up. Maybe if you lived on that block, you would know that.
Yeah. Nope, just a dude selling. And he, again, like the catalog has a lot of stuff, but it's mostly printers and like tapes. So it's stuff you could all cram into like a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I kind of picture the big geeky guy from South Park. You know what I'm talking about? The gamer guy. Long hair,
Okay,
balding,
yeah.
wearing the gamer mouse glove. I
Yeah.
kind of picture him as this.
It's the Kenosha Computer Center.
One thing I should mention too is so in 1996, I was working in a guitar store that also sold computers out of the back, and
Okay.
because they were starting a business where they were upgrading like Midwestern music studios to be digital. So get rid of the tape, get some hard drives in there, some digital tape and MIDI, and you need a computer for all that. Anyway, one time the owner put me in charge of creating a ad like this. I forget for what magazine, but it was like a music magazine, right? And it had been a while, and the Pentium 233 MMX had been out for many months. And there were rumors of a 266, and that never happened. The Pentium 2 came out instead. And in it, I was trying to get ahead of it because I was like, well, what if we release this and the 266 comes out? Remember, I was 18 at the time. I was stupid. So I put, Pentium MMX 266, and for the price, I put like to be determined or something. And I did get a few phone calls on that of people being like, "What's a 266?" Just people trying to call me out. Anyway,
Nice.
don't have 18-year-olds do your ads.
Yeah, or do anything else really.
Yes.
My notes skip around quite a bit because I kind of powered through, over a couple nights to, a lot of the ads get repetitive. I mean, they're cool to look at, but there's not a lot of difference between a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's on virtual page 48, real page 61. There's an article about Creative Labs Share Vision, which is a video conferencing solution for the masses, starting at $1,599 per seat. So that's per license.
What page are we going to here?
Virtual page 48.
Okay.
And it's 160 by 120, 10 frames per second.
Nice.
So that's something. And then I also note on the same page that Windows 95 is still called Chicago at this point.
Yep.
I have a beta build of Windows 95. I have I had MSDN subscriptions at a job.
I had that
and
too,
they would just send you they send you a binder of every piece of software they've ever written. That's at least how it used to work. So you'd still get well into the late 90s. They were still sending you beta versions of Windows 95 in case you needed them for some reason.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, with this video conferencing and other, I think we see a CD drive here and there. This is right before multimedia really jumped, They didn't know what was coming. Like you said, the PC hype really starts with the Windows 95 launch is when everyone needed a PC in their house, right?
Yeah.
Let me go back. I have a note for page 31. I don't know if it's virtual or not. Yes. I guess it'd be 30 virtual. On the
30
second
virtual, okay.
Where it says dual Pentiums. So you could buy here a dual Pentium 90. I had a dual Pentium 166 for a little bit, which would only be good for Windows NT at this time.
So that's two Pentium 90s on one motherboard.
Yes. Yep.
As opposed to a dual core Pentium.
Exactly. Yeah. You get 16 mega RAM, both floppy drives, a gig hard drive. And everything in here, all the expensive computers seem to have the ATI Mach 64 PCI accelerator card. Mm-hmm. And in senior year in high school, I traded my Super Nintendo with 2 games for that exact card to put in my 3D6. And it made a huge difference. I obviously had the ISA version, not the PCI version, but it made a huge difference. So there you go. Did you have any? What was your first multi-processor computer? Was it when the Core Core Duos come out?
Yeah, it was probably work related. I've never owned a PC that had multiple CPU slots.
Yeah, but I just mean even just cores.
Cores, yeah. I don't know when I got my first dual core. Really, I mean, I probably would have been for work before personal use. I don't remember.
Probably 2007, 2008.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
But the next page after, page 32, does have, they actually they say Media Pro. I don't know if anything actually says multimedia in here. But this
probably, that was a term that was used then. Not on this ad for sure.
With a 3x CD-ROM. Not very
that was
common.
actually pretty fast.
Yeah.
That was very fast for the time. My next page is 51. Do you have anything between 31 and 51?
I just had 46 mentions Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, the Chicago mentions. I forget why it was codenamed Chicago. Maybe that's where they came up with the idea. I don't remember.
I think they just picked U.S. cities. Like the Windows 98 one was Detroit. Maybe it
Yeah.
was 98 Service
There was
Pack was Detroit.
Sorry, yeah, 'cause I think Memphis was 98.
Yeah, so maybe it was Service Pack 2 or something like that. But yeah, I do see a Sound Blaster 16 in here with 3 LucasArts games, but I don't see any. Oh yeah, multimedia upgrade kit for $200. You get from Micron a Sound Blaster 16 with speakers, a Thunder Stick, Microsoft Encarta, which in about a year that would be obsolete. Quicken CD-ROM, which again in about a year that would be obsolete. And yeah, you get Rebel Assault, Indiana Jones, and the Day of the Tentacle. Not bad for $200.
Nope, that's probably less than what we sold them for at the game store at the same time.
Oh yeah,
But had to be. Had to be.
I mean,
we were
Micron's
selling those for like
huge.
$500.
Yeah, they could do that. What was your next page?
My next page is 51. There's an article, an editorial from Michael Slater, advocating that the 486 is a better choice than the Pentium.
Just like what I said earlier. Yeah. Do you remember what his rationale was?
This time, the first blah 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 blah. For another, the software differences are while the Pentium chip offers some extensions to programming model, they are not widely used and do not provide an overwhelming benefit. I guess he's trying to advocate that more software works on the 40, which again would be a completely terrible point when Windows 95 comes out.
Yeah. Maybe he's looking at just pay for more megahertz instead of the 64-bit or something. Interesting. And let's see what else.
My next page I was 86, but
Well,
yeah,
so on 54, overburdened lands driving Pentium and risk acceptance. So what a lot of people don't realize at this time, and this is what this article talks about, there were many 64-bit chips other than the Pentium that were way better than the Pentium. So the digital alpha chip, I actually had 3 different digital alpha servers back in the day.
Okay.
You had MIPS, you had PowerPC, and all 3 or 4 of those kinds of chips could run Windows NT at the time, which was just crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah, different kernel. Windows NT was it was designed to run on multiple PCs because Microsoft had to do that.
And in this article says, Alpha out of all of them is the best chip. And it was probably until about 2002. And, maybe 2000. Yeah, around then. And around this time as well as when Silicon Graphics was really in a lot of movies. Of course, you had to pay 30 to 60 grand for one of those computers, but the I/O it gave you, you couldn't do that kind of video with 3D without something like that. Like maybe an Amiga would get you partway, but that was mostly for editing. Let me see if I had any other pages before this.
My pages tend to jump like 50 at a time eventually.
I just put in here also the rise of ARM and RISC. Is it RISC-V or RISC-V? I don't know how to pronounce it. Makes today feel a bit more like it used to be. Like for a while there, everyone was just using AMD or Intel. Now things are, more things are using ARM. RISC-V's coming up there. So yeah, there's more processor wars happening now. And I don't know what page I was talking about, but it seemed like if you wanted to be online at this time, the USR Sportster modem was what everyone wanted.
Yeah, I remember that one being popular in the store too. Yeah, that's the one everyone asked for.
Yep. The 14.4 through the 56K. Yeah. And let's see. Yeah, it must have been on page 66. Let me see if I could zoom in here and see how much this costed.
66.
So for a Sportster external, for some reason the externals always worked better for me. $245 for a 28.8, which was pretty expensive. And then they also had the Courier V32, which it was its own protocol that I guess you could get a little bit more speed out of it if you connected to the same type of modem, but no one had that.
No.
But while we're on page 66, yeah, let's just see if there's any other hot deals here. Like you could get a megabyte of RAM, but you had to call for the price. Oh, come on.
Yeah. This is from a vendor called Insight, based in Tempe, Arizona.
It seems like it could be an apartment situation.
Hold on. 19.
A gigabyte hard drive for $700.
4th Street. You can hear I'm typing loudly on purpose so people know I'm searching for this address.
And a video blaster for $330.
No, this is an office plaza. It's an old school looking office plaza.
Interesting.
It's not that store anymore, but it's still an office plaza. And it's an incredible amount of landscaping for an area that is constantly in drought.
You know, speaking of these, there's I didn't write what page it was on, but there's a 2 gigabyte 5.25 inch hard drive, not 3.5, 5.25 inch hard drive. I remember when I got my first 1.6 gig hard drive, and I thought I would never fill that thing.
Yeah, fill it.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. Yeah. What's your next page here?
My next page, make sure I got this right here. Oh, it takes me a while to scroll because this is using up 1,000% of my CPU. Virtual page 86, real page 100. It's again, I'm fascinated by these little laptops. The screens on these are tiny, 9.5 inch screens, which I guess for the time is probably pretty good. But there is so much hardware on these. 260 meg hard disk, parallel port, serial port. It's almost 7 pounds total. 8 or 60-bit module. Comes with free DOS 6.1, not free DOS. It's including DOS 6.21 for free.
And a zip socket, so you can upgrade your processor if you want. Any 46 processor up to 100 megahertz.
That's what it says. Yeah, the cheaper one is only upgradable to 66 megahertz. Yeah, these would be kind of a neat thing to find someday. I guess next time I go to the recycling dump, I can see if someone's throwing one of these out. Because again, these would be... I don't know if they would be easier or more work than trying to configure DOS box. I guess probably in the end more.
Well, let me look on eBay quickly. For 46... Let's see how much nostalgia costs. Well, the giant one's like a compact LET light, which looks like it's sitting on top of a docking station and has some weird mouse thing on it. I mean, these are still like $1,200.
Oh, yeah.
But some of them are like $200.
Yeah, this is all like estate sale finds, though. I mean, this isn't... Yeah, I'm not going to buy these off eBay.
Yeah. More ATI, page 90 ATI upgrades. Page 174 is my next one.
Okay, well, I've sung before that. I have page 134.
Okay.
I got to see what I put there. Hold on. It's going to take a minute to scroll to that page. All right, that's 133.
What a difference a megabyte makes.
Nope, that is not the page I wanted. Oh, boy. Page 124.
Okay.
This is where I get messed up on the virtual. Ah, yeah, here it is. Virtual 124, real 134. So the virtual numbers are lower than the real numbers. This was, I think, the cover story about inexpensive 60 megahertz Pentiums, relatively inexpensive 60 megahertz Pentiums.
Didn't these have some kind of math error? Like the first run of Pentiums?
Yeah, there was I can't... I remember that story. I don't remember which run of Pentium it was.
I feel like that just happened to Intel again, didn't it? Some kind of big mess up.
They're having some real quality problems, I've heard.
Yeah.
No, Wikipedia, I'm not giving you money. Yeah, I'd have to read like history of Pentium. List of Intel Pentium processors. These are the 60 megahertz. Oh yeah, whatever. This is going to go on forever. Well, 60 was not the first one, so it could have perhaps been the 50 that had an issue, because that would have been the first line.
Oh, really? There was a Pentium 50?
Yeah.
That seems almost useless. Like, did you really need 64-bit? Your processor was not, or your operating system was likely not 64-bit.
So what page is your next one?
My next one is 174. Let's see if it's...
Oh, I also have 174 on mine. Look at that.
Nice.
That is my next page as well. About x86 emulation on RISC.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all the way back in 94, yeah, you could have your RISC machine, and they call out alpha and MIPS, which, is silicon graphics, and yeah, you could run your DOS programs right in there. It's amazing.
Well, yeah, but what's good about this actually explains the different CPUs available, because you kind of shot off before the list of the CPUs available at the time. Mm-hmm. This article actually does a really concise summary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what an interesting time this was. Everything was so expensive. No one knew what was going to win. It wasn't guaranteed that Intel would win. I really think it was Windows 95 that gave Intel the win.
Yeah, if you hop ahead to page 177, it has a table comparing Intel, 46DX, Intel Pentium, Intel P54C, PowerPC, DEC Alpha, and the MPS, or the MIPS. That's it's right. A really clear, nice table.
The PowerPC 604. Yeah, that was just stomping Intel at the time, wasn't it? Oh, and the P6 was Pentium Pro. So that's the future. Yeah, they're talking about the future here. Interesting. Huh.
And then I don't have another page till 186.
Mine's further than that, so let's go to that.
Okay,
one.
So I'll go to 186. See my notes. I took a lot of notes. I'm trying to remember my notes. This is not the page. That is an ad. It's not the ad I was thinking of.
Texas Instrument and Toshiba ad.
Nope, there was an ad that I thought looked pretty interesting. Wait, which page is higher, virtual or physical?
Here, wait, you're already off that
page.
Oh,
here's 194. You're right. It's page 194.
Before we talk about that, let me just have you go do a price guess, okay?
Okay.
So for a Texas Instrument laptop, 4060X475, color screen, 4 megabytes, 4 megabyte RAM, 300 megabyte.
8.4 inch active matrix color,
yes.
IMB local bus. Yeah, I'm on. That's the page I'm on.
Oh, so you can't guess it because you already see it.
I'm literally on that. But yeah, somehow we went to the same page in this 800-page magazine.
That's funny. Well,
but that's what I put in my notes here. Yeah, this one, $4,899 for a 70. Now, what's funny is, do you notice the picture shows a CD-ROM drive, but the description does not mention CD-ROM drive?
Oh yeah, 60-minute sound with MIDI port, microphone, speaker. Yeah, I don't see a CD-ROM.
Yeah.
Oh wait, portable CD-ROM docking station for an extra $779.
Yeah, so it's probably sitting on that docking station in this photo. But it's really deceptive because you think for almost $5,000 you're going to get that.
This was also the time that instead of a trackpad, a lot A lot of laptops had that little nub thing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about those? You were
I thought
for or
I had one
against?
for years at a job, and it was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine. I mean, I
Yeah.
usually hooked up an external mouse,
Yeah, I never
like
minded
a
it.
normal person.
I don't really like trackpads or trackballs though, which was also hot around this time.
And then all the way up on virtual page 208, I have what I think is I wrote wildest item, but dumbest item could make sense too.
Please read it out loud. 208.
208, the desk saver mono. So this is a computer that is like a tiny monitor. One of them looks like it's in a bag. Another's just in a case, but it's essentially, would you like your computer to take up the entire desk and you have less monitor space, but it says it's saving space?
It's like an
Because
Osborne.
it's like an Osborne, but that's the problem is you would get the big tower, you could lay it on flat and then put the monitor on top of the big tower. Like, you would have more desk space if you had a separate monitor and tower than if you had this thing. Also, because if you had a tower, you could put the tower somewhere else.
Okay, I got to see if these are for sale. I got to see if there's a collector market for this because. So, desk.
But the one here, plug and go, crystal clear Sony Trinitron SVGA color monitor, dual media, 1.2 and 1.4 color drive, blah, 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 2 serial repairable ports. But it's just a tank. I mean, it's just, like I said, it looks like an Osborne. I don't see how this actually saves any desk space. I think it actually uses up more desk space.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And it looks like it's not an LCD screen in there. It looks like it's a CRT in there, right?
Yeah.
So far, I can't find it, but let me try America Portable Research. America. Their research did not go well. No, these things are, I don't know if that's vaporware or what. So if any of our listeners knows America Portable Research out of City of Industry, California, and know of these not so portable computers, let us know. I need to see a picture of one of these.
261 space, what is that? East Don Julian. That sounds fake. Okay.
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to mention on 174. You don't have to scroll back, but
That's fine.
one of the wild things around this time, and this never happened, was the PowerPC 615 chip. And so IBM and I guess Motorola was going to release this, and it was going to be a PowerPC chip that was also Intel compatible. I guess it had like 2 different modes.
Okay.
And apparently, let's see. Let me find the exact part in there. Where is 1.6? Oh, yeah. IBM PowerPC 615 is expected to release a PowerPC 604 chip with a built-in x86 binary execution. Binary execution is faster than encoding emulation into a ROM, which is what Apple did by encoding the x86K, or sorry, the 68K translation into its Power Mac. So this would have been a game changer, but it never actually got released. And a year ago, when we started planning this, I did some research on this chip. It has a whole Wikipedia page about it, but I have forgotten everything I've learned. So my next page is 234.
Okay, I am well after that.
So 234,
So
what did I
234.
Zenith's multimedia notebook. Why did I want to mention this? I don't. Oh, yeah. Speaking of giant computers, it's at the bottom of page 234.
Okay.
Zenith Systems. So this is a Z NoteFlex multimedia notebook. So they actually use that word.
Oh, what is it? What is that?
So
Go ahead.
our listeners who can't see this, it looks like a laptop that, the bottom part of the laptop is about 10 inches tall. And it has a full 5.25 inch CD drive with really big speakers, stereo speakers, and it looks like a key and lock like you would see on old towers.
Yeah, I think that's the dock. I think that's the dock for it.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah, so there it's the Note Flex with optional Flex Show multimedia unit.
if you drop this on your foot, you would break your foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, okay. I'm looking this one up too. Z Note Flex.
And the vendor is PC's Complete. Complete, not spelled how you think it is.
Zenith. I spelled Zenith wrong. I can't spell a 6-character word. Note Flex. There's some on here, but none with the giant part underneath. That's too bad. All right, what's your next page? That was my last note I had. That's where I ended.
Okay. Oh, I've notes going way up into the 600s. Okay.
Oh, nice.
But now you have to pause while I try. I have to just check if. Okay, I wrote 382/437, but I don't know which one it is. Hold on, I think it's 382. Let's see. Nope, it's not going to be 382 because 382 does not map to 437. Oh, I should have in my own notes. I should have written real or fake. But I remember 437 is actually something cool. If that's the page I'm thinking of. All right, hold on, Bob.
Scanners.
Nope.
Floppies.
Nope. That's it. The floppies. So real page 437. Computer Book Club. I wrote equivalent of Columbia House.
Computer Book Club.
That was one. So okay. So first of all, going back. That's wrong page. I read the wrong notes. Scrap all that. Virtual page 437, real page 382. Yeah, I was shocked at how cheap the floppy disks are. Thank you. From Midwestern Diskette.
19 cents for a...
each.
Yeah. Well, that's for the cheaper one, but 29 cents for the high density, 1.44. Wow.
Hold on, I'm looking this address up. That's why I'm typing loudly, so you know I'm doing that.
For no reason at all, I do miss floppies. They were so convenient. They really seem to last forever, even though they're getting bit rot now.
So what do you think Midwestern Diskette is today?
What part of the country is it? I mean, I know Midwest.
It is in Creston, Iowa.
I'm going to go with a Waffle House.
No, it's a plaza. It's in a strip mall, which looks like it has been there since the 90s.
Okay, then I'm going to go with a tanning salon.
It is a nutrition store.
Same thing. That was pretty close.
It's wedged between a Little Caesars and another entrance for the nutrition store. So actually it's a nutrition store with like an attached gym. There you go.
And get some pizza on the way home.
Get some Little Caesars on the way home.
The worst pizza.
Yep. And then across the street is a Cash for Gold.
So CDRs underneath all the floppies. That's, I think, my first CDR ad I see in here. In a jewel case, if you buy 10 or more of them, they're over $12 each. That's crazy.
That's, well, for the time, that is crazy cheap. I mean, they would be a couple, they would be the things that were 19 cents a piece later on. Mm-hmm. But at the time, I mean, this is why like software piracy, this is why CDs didn't have copy protection, because, you had to buy a $500 CD drive and then a $12 blank CD to bootleg a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one's going to, that's why, Sega CD didn't have copy protection, because who's going to do that?
Yeah.
That's a big investment. All right.
I mean, are there any CDRs, like actual CD writers in here? I don't see any.
I don't
Just the
think there
discs.
were yet. You had to. I think they existed. But
Yeah, at that one company, the virtual or the virtual basic company I worked at, we had one. It was a SCSI drive. It took up half the desk. Everyone would not walk by it while someone was writing a CD.
oh, because if you shook something, then.
Yeah.
So let's see. I wrote. Let's see. Make sure I get this right. That's 490. Aha, here we go. So virtual page 489. 489. Real page 434. Voice activated 486. I just thought this was cool.
What? What's happening here?
Yeah. It's
Of course, they talk about Kirk and Spock
yeah.
for some
The
reason.
interactive communicator. It's built around a 486 DX33, but given processing horsepower needed by ever more complex applications, blah 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 blah. It's basically gonna get a faster computer. And this is like a review of this. It could do some degree of voice activation. I don't think a lot, but it did use and included a video blaster, Creative Labs video blaster.
What would you voice activate? Like a screensaver?
It says Windows commands. It said 13 Windows apps were supported.
At the place I work, we still get help tickets all the time for what's the popular Dragon, right? Dragon voice
Okay.
recognition software. And then I have to tell these people, I mean, it's not their fault they don't know, but they just know the name Dragon, so they still want it, that like voice activation is a quick key in Windows. You can voice to text is built in and it works better.
It's built in.
Yeah.
It is just a feature of Windows.
It's
I know
like
it's
the same people that are still paying for their AOL email address.
Yeah. It is because it is the first feature I turn off in Windows.
Yes. Speaking of which, Noah, I haven't seen any CompuWare or AOL or Prodigy in here.
Yeah, this wasn't really their jam, man. Oh, look at this. My next page is 526. But
Okay.
if you stop on the way at page 525, blowout shareware discs. Get a CD of questionable content for $4.93 each.
I loved shareware discs.
You can get 306 way cool Windows games for $9.97.
I bet they were way cool.
Swimsuit Review 94, $9.97.
I mean, would Doom be on that? Definitely
Man,
Commander Keen.
whatever they downloaded. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Whatever they got off of BBS, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is junk. So the thing I was interested was the next page, 526, which is what I called Columbia House for computer books.
Oh, no.
Select any 5 books for only $4.95 plus 1 free book when you join the Computer Book Club.
Oh,
So
what a
then-
scam.
Yep. So then they send you a new book every 3 to 4 weeks, and you have 10 days to decide if you want to keep it.
Sound Blaster, the official book. What could you possibly read? Like MIDI mappings? Like, I don't know what you would read about Sound Blaster for.
The internet for new users, though.
Yeah, online information hunting. I bet it's all Gopher
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah,
MS-DOS batch file.
that's pretty good. Yeah, not much else in here.
And then my next note skips up to page 622, which is mailbag. All the way in back, not in front like most magazines.
All right,
I
I'm
was
there.
scrolling through hoping there would be a mailbag section. I'm still trying to get to the page that I said I was going to get to. All right.
Oh, the 3DO blasters in here.
So the hard edge, there's a column here called the hard edge. And then, yeah, it has like mailbag, hard edge mailbag. The first letter is about how OS2 is awesome and the next version of Windows is going to be terrible.
OS2 was awesome. And it did better multitasking than Windows 95. And that's
Like here's
the end
here's
of
some great,
anything I'll say about it.
Yeah, here's some advice from Domenico Vitarella? He's probably not alive, so it's okay. Remember when Windows 4 finally arrives, if it ever does, it will be plagued with the same problems because it too is an entirely new operating system. The best solution is to buy your next PC with OS 2 pre-installed.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Good advice, dude.
He said Win for it 4.0. I was thinking about DOS 4.0. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm looking this person up. I have to look up how to spell his last name again. Because there's no way. Oh, it auto-completed. There's no way.
There's two Domenico Vitarellas.
That doesn't write on the internet all the time. And, nothing fun. Nothing good there.
Did you put obituary in the search?
No.
Oh, fine. I will do that. Vitra, V-I-T-R. Oh, hold on. It's an autocomplete. Oh, it's a different guy. Not Domenico. Not Domenico Traficanto. Domenico. Well, nope. Not finding him. Oh, wait a second.
And the next person that writes in retired from Motorola recently. Someone, Al Tingy, that talks about DOS,
Okay.
OS2, and Unix as well.
You know, it's possible this guy was a doctor.
Yeah, that's the one I found that
Yeah,
was not fun.
a doctor who liked OS2. Oh, I was hoping for something better.
If he's like most doctors that I know, he's still using the
His
first
OS2
operating
computer.
system he's ever used and will never upgrade ever.
I don't go to the doctor often, but when I do, they spend most of their time complaining about the system they have to use.
Yeah, that's very, very common. But yeah, we have some ad lib stuff in here. We didn't really talk about ad lib. That was becoming really popular around then.
I wrote that page, this is again virtual page 660, real page 602, has a really nice explanation of what the internet is.
Does it say people complaining? Oh, TCP/IP packets.
Yeah, it's we didn't know that the internet was going to be people complaining. The person that wrote this was a longtime writer, very prolific longtime writer for ZDNet and has done some open source contributions. Yeah.
This is really easy to understand, and it actually talks about TCP/IP to domain names and all that stuff. In a lightning fast T3 line at 45 megabits.
Yeah. Yeah, so I thought that was a neat one. It talks also about email. And if you want to know more about email, check out RFC 1206.
Party time.
I've actually had to like bring that up before to people. You shouldn't have to in this day and age, but it's occasionally where someone asks like to build some unreasonable feature. And you're like, right, like, oh, I see you want to build a feature where you can email like thousands of people all on the same email. Yeah, it doesn't work that way because there's a size limit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's in the spec. And then they get all cranky with me as though I wrote the spec.
I'm trying to see, it doesn't mention the web anywhere.
No, that probably wouldn't have been a term yet. I mean, World Wide Web was not... I can't remember the exact date that it was created.
It would have been around this time, wouldn't it have?
Well, yeah, I think in 92 maybe.
Okay.
No, first 1989.
Oh, wow.
And opened to the public in 1991. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was like 93. Huh, I was wrong.
Oh, but see, sir, the web protocol only became royalty free in 1993.
Okay.
So yeah, that's 1993 is when it effectively was released.
That's when it beat Gopher, because everyone liked Gopher better, but
Oh, for
that one university owned it. No one wanted
yeah.
to pay them.
The last note I had was on virtual page 674, real page 616, about playing games on BBSs.
Loading. I'm stuck
Yeah,
loading
it's gonna be
here.
a minute. It has numbers you can call. If you want to join this one, call 703-241-7100 and wait a return call from the sysop. The subscription charges are a reasonable 60 cents an hour, but watch it. One game and those can add up. This is PC Ohio they are reviewing.
Wow. They bring up Trade Wars 2002. Nice.
Yeah, I thought I bookmarked because I thought this is a page you would appreciate.
Yeah, a fee of $52 gets you 1 hour and 3 megabytes of download a day for a year. That's not a bad price. That's not a lot of downloading, though. But also, most BBSs were free, but you couldn't, like, most of them were only one line, so you didn't have, like, online chatting or anything like that.
Yeah, but if you scroll down a little bit to page 679, also 621, a directory of bulletin boards now.
Let's see. I don't know why mine started going so slow. It's like I'm on a bulletin
You're out of
board.
RAM. Yeah, this it's a hard magazine to read. It's weird. There must maybe I missed a page. Maybe it starts earlier because this starts in the M's. Oh wait. Due to the size of bulletin boards, Computer Shopper will carry 1/2 of the listings per month. The listings run alphabetically by state according to area code. So Alabama through Michigan ran last month. In Minnesota through International is this month.
Oh, I'm going to have to look at the last month to see if I recognized any of them. But these are probably, I mean, they must have had to pay to be in here, right?
I don't know. I maybe because they do charge to use the service, and it has looks like they're. This is such a different time. Like this is just some dude's name and phone number,
Yeah, true.
and then he'll call you back, and you read your credit card number to him over the phone.
Totally legit. Wow.
I mean, like, but it's crazy. It's like again, Montana's kind of a rural state. It has a ton of bulletin boards. I mean, Montana has a ton. New Jersey has a lot, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, New Jersey, that section goes on forever. New York probably goes on forever. Maybe that's why I quit reading soon, because I'm like, oh, it's just a bunch of listings from here.
And all of these are on MS-DOS. A lot of people started off their BBSs on Commodores or TRSs. And around this time is when everyone was on DOS.
Yeah,
and
so this section, I'm at 674 here, and I'm only up to, like, Virginia. Which way, Virginia? Yeah, Virginia's probably last.
And some of them using FidoNet, which was a way to interchange bulletin board messages. And Qmail as well.
Yeah, and then so, like, the last, like, 40 pages is pretty heavy ads. Ads, and then, like, index back to, where you can find other stuff in the magazine. And the ads really, as you get deeper in, they get to be smaller and just, on page 819, Crazy Bob's floppy disk flip out. You can call Crazy Bob in Wakefield, Massachusetts, and buy some. Use your PC to learn Japanese and Chinese.
At the same time.
At the same time. Split screen that. Course on hacking, if you want to call this 800 number and give the person who's advertising that they teach hacking your credit card number, they will send you a one. Some adult stuff down on page 822. Sexy Modem, the ultimate BBS.
It sounds like it.
Hottest adult. Some of this stuff I won't mention what it's advertising exactly.
Oh,
'Cause some of it is
840 has Dragon Dictate 3.0 for DOS, so it made it in
okay.
there.
All right, let me get up to that here.
And the next page has Kurzweil voice, which seems similar, but it's $1,000. $1,000. Wow.
Some off-brand. If you go back up to page 831, some off-brand sound cards.
No one wants those.
Yeah. Basically the deep pages of Computer Shopper are to me the avoid section. I'm not sure if they. I feel like the ads in the back would probably cost closer to the ads in the front because some people probably just flip backwards. Some people probably go to the magazine in reverse order. But yeah, no, the back pages are pretty bad.
Yeah, a lot of home built stuff here. But any closing thoughts on this?
No, I mean, I think this is fun. I don't think this is, not something I would ever collect, of course. And they are fun to look at. I think hopefully people remember a time when this is how you bought computer parts.
Mm-hmm.
Or entire computer, You didn't want to, if you look at some of the catalogs I've posted over the years, you didn't want to walk into a Sears and buy a computer from them.
No, and that's what my dad did for our first PC. No, we had an Apple before that he got from Egghead, I think.
Okay.
Which was, I think there were multiple little Egghead stores around the Midwest. But
yeah, there was one by me, and I put up some scans of Egghead catalogs a long time ago.
Ooh, yeah, I got to see those. I didn't know that.
It's the article. If you want to look for it, I think it's called. I gotta look for it. I gotta have to search for it myself. It's called "The Only Things I Found Interesting in a Pile of Mid-90s Egghead Catalogs."
Nice.
Because I wouldn't scan the entire catalog because there's just so much. Oh look, it's TurboTax.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
And that's what that place really was like. Yeah, I had a lot of database type stuff for DOS and whatever, but my dad did get our 386SX Magnavox computer that had a CD-ROM that required a caddy from Sears, and over the years I upgraded the heck out of that thing and played so many games on it, and was one of the reasons why I would read this magazine. And I ran a BBS off it for many years. These were better times. I definitely think.
Yeah, in many ways it was better. Otherwise, I mean, again, the back pages, there's a good chance you're just going to get scammed. But I guess modern internet, anything you do, there's a good chance you're just going to get scammed. So
I should mention that we are able to do this because somebody about a year ago donated boxes and boxes of Computer Shopper magazines to Jason Scott at archive.org. And a lot of these were lost to time because this is not something people would save because you would need an entire warehouse to save these thick magazines. Mm-hmm. And so I'm really thankful that, imagine pulling each one of these pages apart and scanning them. This had to be a nightmare for him to do.
Yeah, without some sort of something you can form feed, like an industrial device.
Yeah.
If it's just a regular desktop scanner, this is hard times, man.
And I'm sure he has a system down, but you have to pull these pages apart so carefully. They're so delicate.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Please, if our listeners have any memories or anything of computer shoppers or really anything we've mentioned in this, we talked a lot about different processors and stuff like that. Please email us, email@retrogameclub.net. I will get it. Hugh is on a beach, probably reading a computer shopper on his Kindle or something.
I am probably on a Zoom call right now.
Yes.
Very good chance I'm on a Zoom call.
Yeah. Yeah, there was an ad for that, for video conferencing for the masses at $1,500 a seat.
I wish it cost companies that much today because that would really change the culture.
Yeah. Well, all right. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for listening to this. I hope you enjoyed this and we didn't get too nerdy into the woods, but that's the kind of stuff I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for listening.